All right, there's a new way for your kids to get up close and personal with a giant Pacific octopus and other marine wildlife. David FitzSimmons is a photographer. He's here to show us some pictures from his newest Curious Critter book. David, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. First of all, how'd you get the idea for Curious Critter books?
It actually started as a commercial job I was doing. I was taking pictures for an ad in a magazine, and I thought, wow, this has a lot of potential for children. So I came out with the first book in 2011, and we've sold over 120,000 copies.
Amazing. You've had success with them. You've been all over the world to photograph some of these curious critters, some marine life, but also there's an Ohio book too, right?
That's right. In September, I'm releasing an Ohio book on animals just found here in Ohio, but actually at the event this weekend at Brukner Nature Center, I'll have that book as a pre-sale item.
We have some puppets to go along with it. We'll explain that in a second. First, though, I want to take a look at some of your pictures in the book from Curious Critters. Wow. That's really blue, right?
And it's
Explain
rare.
That, David.
Yeah, 1 out of every 2 million lobsters is born blue. This was photographed at the Mystic, Connecticut Aquarium.
Oh, very cool. Next picture is, well, looks like some kind of sort of a penguin, but not really.
It's a puffin. It's a tufted puffin. That's its breeding plumage. And I flew to Alaska to photograph that at the Alaska Sea Life Center in Seward.
That is very cool. And this is something hiding in a shell, right?
Yeah, that's right. That is a Hawaiian reef hermit crab. So the new book, Curious Critters Marine, has animals from the Pacific and Atlantic as far afield as the Hawaiian Islands.
All right, we'll say goodbye to that guy and hello to this guy.
Yeah, well, that's a gray tree frog found very commonly here in Ohio. They let out their call right before it rains, and it changes color from gray to green, and that's why this is a green-gray tree frog.
All right, and then we have this little possum, maybe?
That's right, the Virginia opossum.
All right.
So-called Virginia, but it's found all over Ohio and frequently seen at night. They tend to be nocturnal.
Great pictures there. Final one here, little caterpillar.
Yeah, that's the monarch caterpillar. A few years ago, the monarch numbers were down, but I think they're climbing back up here in Ohio. And I thought that representing that beautiful caterpillar would be a good way to represent what we find here in Ohio.
What's the trick to photographing these things? I mean, it's patience is one thing, right?
It's patience. It's a lot like photographing children. You never know what they're going to do. And I use a specialized piece of equipment called a light tent. It's a 3-foot cube, and I place the animals in there. That provides the even lighting and the white background. And then I use a specialized piece of equipment called a macro lens. So I shoot with Sigma cameras and lenses to get really close, highly detailed photographs of the animals.
And along with the picture in the book is an explanation of what we're looking at, maybe what region of the world.
Yeah, I tried to give each animal a chance to talk. So each one has its own voice and tells you a little bit about itself. So I try to make it fun for kids as well as educational.
And you do presentations, so quickly explain the puppets that you use as well.
Yeah, the puppets you see on the table here. I'm going to be at Brukner Nature Center this Saturday, July 11th from 1 to 3. I'm doing a program along with three other authors there. And during my portion at 1 o'clock, I'm going to be using the puppets and having the kids help me perform parts of the book. And so there are animals like the striped skunk or the Virginia opossum or the Hawaiian reef hermit crab that match the characters in the books.
Have you always been into photography and or wildlife, or how did it come about?
You bet. My grandfather was a photographer. My father was a photographer. He ran an outdoor education program in Mansfield, Ohio, and my mom was an elementary school teacher who specialized in children's literature. So there it is.
Okay, the two morphed together. Well, David is holding a book signing and puppet performance that's on Saturday at the Brukner Nature Center in Troy. It's $250 per person or $10 for the whole family. Great price. Just go to fox45now.com for more information. Very interesting work. Curious Critters. Pick up a copy, all right?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks, David. Thanks for coming in.